Good evening. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Columbia Board of Selectmen Tuesday, November 1st, in the year 2022 to order, 7 p.m. The first thing I'll do is, once again, this is a hybrid meeting. The public can attend in person or electronically. The information is provided, the agenda is contained in the link. If you had this, you'd know that. Otherwise, it would be on the town website. If you want to, in person or on the Zoom, make a comment during audience of citizen, we'll be happy to call on you. If we have something in the agenda that you are deemed to be a subject matter expert, I have the liberty to be able to call on you, or the Board of Selectmen will entertain a question from you or a response. If you get unruly, I'm just going to unplug the machine. I don't care. We will have to ask you to leave. So, and next, our Pledge of Allegiance, if you would join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. I make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, I'd like to approve the minutes and make a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Selectmen regular meeting for October 18th, 2022. Any discussion?
I did find two minor editorial, that's something I can bring. So, section 10.2. The last sentence of the first paragraph says, and Walter explained that Andover, Columbia, Coventry have officially requested that CTDOT and CROG revise the regulations. I suggest that you revise to be.
Connecticut Department of Transportation and the Council of Regional Government.
Should revise, not revised.
Yeah.
Revise
True,
is
proper,
synonymous.
revised.
Officially requested.
Oh, revise, yes,
Right.
no D.
Yeah, and then the second one, page 6, section 15. The second sentence, S. Everett asked that the BOS spread the work, and it should be the word about the Columbia Park.
So it could go either way. It was a lot of work. And we'll go with you.
Okay,
We'll go with word.
good point.
Word is better.
Many hands like make light work.
Or, you know, like word too. Bob Bowles used to do all that, so I appreciate you looking into this very deeply. So that's good. Anybody else? Okay, no more. Discussion closed. All those in favor with amendments, say aye. Make sure you spell that.
And in the present tense.
Okay. Audience citizen.
There's nobody in the chat, Stephen.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christine Sposito. I'm at 62 Doubleday Road. I'm a resident and the vice chair of the Board of Education. And I just came because I knew on the agenda or on the topic is going to be the HVAC system. And I just wanted to let everyone know that we as the Board of Education have been talking about this since March of 2021. So we are very interested in seeing what kind of grants, what this grant is, what's entailed, and if we can take advantage of it at the school level.
I thank you for your comment, and you will be hopefully informed beyond more than you want to know in about 20 minutes, but I appreciate you bringing that up. There may be some questions that we have for you. So
And I'll
just,
answer the best I can.
yeah, excellent. Anybody else? Thank you. Seeing none. Old business. Okay, so this does pertain to the school and the HVAC, and I have to amend the motion, so we set a town meeting, so it's going to be a lengthy reread of what we did, but because we're setting a town meeting, And once I do this, I'll give you some information why we're doing it. So I move to amend the motion made on the Board of Selectmen's meeting on October 18, 2022, to be replaced with the following. I make a motion to set a town meeting for Tuesday, November 15th, 2022 at 6:30 PM in Yeoman's Hall for the following purpose. Clause 1, be it resolved that the town of Columbia hereby authorizes the Columbia Board of Education to the superintendent to apply to the Commission of the Department of Administrative Services for an indoor air quality school construction grant for Horace Porter School. And be it further resolved that the town of Columbia does hereby establish a building committee for the HVAC/indoor air quality project at the Horace W. Porter School. And be it further resolved that the Board of Selectmen shall be authorized to appoint the members of the foregoing building committee. And be it further resolved that the town of Columbia hereby authorizes the Columbia Board of Education to prepare the schematic drawings and outline specifications for the HVAC/indoor air quality project at the Horace W. Porter School. Discussion. I'll start. This is like poking the bear. So we had a meeting that I was able to jump on today, and our energy consultants and those who have been involved with the details of the grant that will help us with the grant and stuff have done a in-depth site review and have come up with some things that they believe what we're going to need. We're going to need, in their opinion, we need to upgrade the service panel of the school to be able to upgrade a shoot-off service panel for the A wing. Now, the only reason they want to do the upgrade of the school, should there be, they believe the shoot-off for the A wing can handle the A wing services that I will tell you about. But should we want to move forward with any other part of the school, if we don't do the increase of the main panel, we will have to do it then because the load of the school will be too much. They believe we will have enough of a load if we just wanted to do the A wing, but looking forward. So in the A wing, they are proposing an air quality and a heating, air conditioning, dehumidifying service for that whole wing. I don't know the name of it. It'll come up. We have a representative from the consulting Titan Energy team, Robert Millard. He'll answer some questions. Bobby, let me get through this and then you can correct everything I say, okay? So the quality of the service and the cost of the items that we need for air quality, heating, air conditioning, dehumidifying to eradicate the moisture and the mold that grows down there. It's estimated to be about $1.8 million.
Just for A wing?
Just for A wing. Now, I took a look at A wing today. It's damp down there. Okay, they've had mold down there. They've had to eradicate the mold. They've had to do, before school began, they had to go in and wash the rooms down. It's an ongoing situation. I tell you that, this is my editorial, it is their opinion. It is one opinion. The good news is we set the town meeting to apply for the grant. We have time to come up with a price at that 1.8. If that's what we decide, then we put it in. I don't know, is there a level we put in? Mark, is there a level we can put in for? Or?
Well, you have to set a, no, you can apply for whatever we feel the project requires.
Okay, thank you. And again, remember that the match we believe is at 48%. The state pays 48. What?
That could change. It hasn't been set as a match level yet.
We heard it's 48%, Bev?
That number that's been coming around is from 2002.
Okay,
So the state has not come out with any new updates on the reimbursement rate.
okay.
So we have to wait.
All right.
It's been kind of tight-lipped on it.
But setting the town meeting allows us to put forth all this stuff in motion to find out exactly what other areas we can look at, but not of the school, of material and electric work and, you know, maybe splits or something. I'm just throwing it out there. We have to get this in by December 1st. December 1st?
Yes.
Yes, so we can look for the grant. If we get the grant, we decide not to go with this system, it still would be there. We have to do something in the A-way. We don't have to decide by December 1st, correct? We just have to apply for the
We need to get the
grant
application
by
in
December
and
1st.
submit it, have 3 steps done and submit it.
Okay,
What do you mean 3 steps then?
Given the superintendent permission to do it, set up a building committee and then give the Board of Ed permission, which I assume there's a cost to it, to work on schematic drawings and, you know, start the process so that we can go out to bid once we know the next step is complete.
so. Apply for the grant, we put in for this. If and when, we will probably have to set another town meeting. And if it's over 500,000, we'll have to go to referendum. So but to have a referendum, we have to have a town meeting 14 days prior to, correct?
Correct.
7 to 14 days. So we will do that in the future. Probably January timeframe, March, January, February
Well,
timeframe.
you just have to set the town meeting, which would then stay when the referendum will happen by November 30th, because that has to be in the grant December 1st that you've set a referendum. So we don't have to have the referendum till later. We have to set it. Set a town meeting, which will then set a referendum in the future.
Okay,
I'm a little puzzled by that, Mark, because I thought you said if we set a town meeting, you have to have the referendum 2 weeks later.
No, we have to decide on November 30th. We could say we're having a town meeting January 15th with a referendum to follow February 5th.
correct. So we're gonna tell them that we're gonna set a town meeting in the future, and at that time, we'll set a date in the future, correct?
Right. Correct.
And then we have our referendum 7 to 14 days after that, all right? There are some options, and I don't even know them. Some of the options are to just do the lower portion of A-wing. Mike Sylvester gave me a walk through the A-wing today, did a great job explaining, gave me some history and stuff, and the bottom line is, we could do the lower section, that's where the mold is. That's where it's damp.
That's the oldest part of the school, right?
I have no idea.
Well, it's the basement of the oldest part of the school.
Okay. But the cost of that is unknown. In my estimation, it could be $1.2 million. Because you upgrade the electrical and then half upper and lower, split that 1.5 in half is 750,000, probably get more than that because it never splits it in half equally. So my guess is about $1.2 million.
Is the need to upgrade the
Panel?
service panel? We got a second opinion on that particular issue, or is that a definite thing?
Nothing is, nothing is definite. And what I want to say tonight, nothing is definite. So that's a good question. You know, 2 weeks ago, it was $480,000. Today, they believe it's around $350,000 to upgrade that panel. What they did, and we're not sure, and that's why I've asked Jason to be here, give some input on it. We have some real homework to do on this, but we need to, if we're going to go after it, we need to set the town meeting to be able to put in motion all these clauses so we can apply for the grant.
So this is just, so that we can apply for the grant.
Yes,
Now, it says here that appropriate 500,000.
I did not read that. I did not put that in.
Okay, because that's like, we don't know the dollar amount.
Correct.
Okay, that's the question I had. To just, kind of makes it, get it rolling and make some decisions and get some
To apply
assessments.
for the grant.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So,
I think what we're gonna have to do is put some questions, or you can ask, Jason is here, Bob Miller is here on there, he's representing our consultant group, Titan Energy. I don't know if Splits would do it, which would be, the thing about the Splits is, Splits does not take in fresh air from outside, purify it and put it through the room. Splits doesn't do that. The system that they're recommending does that.
So the heat pump that they're,
It's a heat pump. And Bob, you want to give us a little?
Yeah, hey, Steve, thanks for introducing me. My name's Bob Miller, and I've been working with Titan now for about 6 months or so. I just lost my screen. Hold on 1 second so I can see everyone. Yeah, the new system, when we talk about the mold issue and the air issue and the humidity issue, we talk about adding a system that will, to Steve's point, increase the airflow into and out of the classroom, something that's not really robust today in the current situation. It'll also regulate the humidity on a regular basis. It'll look at it, it'll monitor it, it'll adjust itself. It also adds a certain amount of infiltration and filters to the air quality itself. So the air coming in and the spent air going out will be filtered within this contained unit by each individual classroom. So if you were to picture a big HVAC unit per se on the roof of a building, that big HVAC unit typically has 5 or 6 zones. Each one of them zones will be feeding these individual units that'll be inside of the classrooms, if you will. And each one of these units will have what I just stated. It'll have the ability to exchange the airflow, filter it, spend it out to the ambient air conditions. And then also as an added event, obviously you want air conditioning. So we don't just look at this as an HVAC system. We look at it as more of an air quality concern that we're addressing with these systems to bring in all of this extra added value to improve the quality of our air for our children and the teachers, obviously. So I hope that explains it a little bit better.
Thank you, Bob. So there are options out there, but right now I want to set this so we can put the motion forward so we can go after. If there's grants out there, let's go after it.
So my question is, do we need to have the final plan of what we want to do for the town meeting and the
Referendum?
referendum, or is that still fluid? Because I think 2 months is an awfully fast amount of time to pull that together,
It's fluid.
considering we don't even have a committee yet.
I know, it's fluid. You want to answer that question, Mark? Did you hear it?
Yes, the challenge too, CCM is trying to extend the deadlines right now. They realize that the state giving us 2 months for this long a project, this is the talk of every town manager, mayor, and first selectman at this conference, that you cannot do this in 2 months. So there's a lot of pressure being put on the state to make extensions. So we'll see what happens. But right now, we're just putting everything in place so we have a shot at doing this and getting the cost of this authorized through a referendum is not a slam dunk either, because there's a lot of education that is required for the town to understand what we're trying to accomplish.
right,
Chris?
So my understanding, looking at the presentation, and I think I mentioned this last meeting, Mark, we can apply ARPA funds. We just would apply to the total cost being reduced, not exclusively to cover, right? So
ARPA funds are not allowed to be used at this present state, but CCM is also trying to open that up. At the moment, you cannot use ARPA funds for federal grants.
No, what it says in the
It is exclusively
presentation
to cover.
is that you would take the ARPA
It is
presentation,
exclusively to cover.
is that you would take the ARPA funds and then whatever's left on the balance after that, you would apply the grant money to.
Mhm.
That's what it wasn't, that's what I read when
No,
I
I
read that.
mean, okay, my read is it's the total cost, so if it's 1.8 million, you would reduce the 1.8 million to, 1 million, and then from there, the cost share goes, so.
Right.
Using the example here, it can
It
be
gives-
used
yeah.
to reduce total project cost, so just for everyone's consideration, because I know we're talking ARPA funds later.
So my question is, if I apply $500,000 of ARPA money to that and bring it down to 1.3, and they give us 48% of that, does that lessen what we get?
It's 1.3. It's 48% of the 1.3,
Yes,
not the 1.75.
Yes.
Well, then I wouldn't use
Well,
ARPA.
just so you know, I got this today. It says municipalities and education advocates are calling upon our state to end the prohibition against using American Relief funds to match and help fix our school systems' aging HVAC systems. So they're trying to get the state to allow ARPA, but at the moment, ARPA funds as a match with a newly created grant program are not allowed.
Well, I'm not gonna, what it means is, again, why would I lose funding from the program and use ARPA money to bring it down? Why wouldn't, it's just,
Well, it reduces you, yeah.
It's a guessing game too,
Yeah.
some of it.
yes, Beth.
So from my understanding of this, you cannot use the ARPA funds to cover what the state's gonna say is the town match on the grant. So that's what you're saying, it doesn't mean you can't use it, it's just that if the state says you owe 40%, you can't use ARPA funds to supplement that.
Correct.
So that's all it is, but
And if you use ARPA funds right off the top, you're lessening the match that the state gives you.
Right.
So I'm not,
But it also lessens your burden.
yeah, so the
in,
state says.
for that respect, it does. But that ARPA money for other different projects will then have to be taken from somewhere.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I just brought it up because if doing a larger piece of a project, this makes a difference in the plan. That's the only reason why I bring it up, so we can be informed.
So, I mean, Jason, I'm just gonna really just ask you a pretty simple question. Could there be other options out there?
There are a lot of potential options.
Excellent. So that's, but my thing is to set this in motion and pass it so we can get them moving on it, get this sent in, and we need to get our committee set up and we need to get to work.
We set the committee up, Lee?
I believe it says that.
But after the, yeah.
No, we approve it.
Okay.
Shall authorize the Board of Selectmen shall be authorized to appoint the members of the foregoing bidding committee. Okay, anything else? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, November 15th, 6:30 PM. Bobby, thank you very much. We'll be working with you guys, and you got a question, or?
No, I think I'm good. If you need anything
Okay.
else, just let me know.
We certainly will. Mr. Sylvester, thank you very much for your help today, and I'm gonna lean on you a lot. So is, you're running that show over there, so you know that place inside and out. We'll be leaning on you, buddy. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
10, okay?
Sure.
Next. ARPA funding project discussion and authorization. So last week we approved some, 2 weeks ago, we approved some items. We talked with Jason, who was able to get some of the work, some bids came in, they were less than what was projected. And now we need to discuss, we want to go forward. I'll just read them and then we'll talk about it and then we'll make a motion, because I'm not making a motion to get it kicked back. Remove and replace areas of the senior center sidewalk where it's cracked and lifted and needs to be done. $6,500. Any discussion on that? Or
Where's that?
6.1 on your, I don't know if it's even in the,
It's still an old business in a next blue tab. Yep, it's old business. It's after
The blue
yep,
divider.
Oh,
the blue divider.
tennis court rebuild and fencing and any associated work. That is to be the size, so we can have the pickleball courts go sideways, correct?
That's correct.
93,000, it was 120,
I projected it at 120.
came in
This
at
is
93,
asphalt, it's not concrete.
yeah. A new pickleball court and fencing and any associated work for 53, I think it was projected at 60. And then the other thing is the construction of the DPW office building and site improvements and stuff. So that is a big package there. And I asked Mark and Beth, the director, to review some of this stuff, and Jason, and there's some pictures in here of what they're currently dealing with down there. That's their break room, dressing area, place to have a lunch or rest a little bit during a snowstorm, if they can get an hour off the road to grab some shut-eye, maybe a hot meal. You'll see the walkway up there, it's the wooden walkway, you know. This is the bathroom facilities that they're dealing with now.
I went over there last week. It definitely is not a great place to hang out. It was also, you could smell exhaust in the break rooms and the office areas there. They need something different.
So tell me about this project. Who's gonna do that? Jason?
Well, yeah, I have these guys, so site plan wise, went to planning and zoning, it's been approved as far as the site plan goes. But we thought about the site and what you may need going way down into the future, so that we put the building in a spot that would not interfere with anything you might potentially want in the future. In particular, and I did already bring this to them to zoning, but I showed the space for 6 more bays of the garage over here, which would work. We proposed an island out front to protect the well and the power pole that's out there. And right now there's big mounds of dirt, just ugly mounds of dirt around both of those. And with that island, potentially we could plant some lower looking trees and try to shield the site a little bit if we wanted to. So that's what I brought to planning and zoning.
Where's the existing building now?
Existing buildings right here.
Okay,
So we're going there. Again, in the future, if you did this, I'm putting it 10 feet off in my drawing. And that's what really drives the price way down from what you guys, I guess, looked at 4 or 5 years ago. Is you have one building with office space and garage space all in one. That drives the price way up because you have to have all kinds of fire separation walls. The actual construction style changes. Now we have a 1,500 square foot office building, one use, one type of use, and also small, and a storage building down the road as a separate use. So it drives the cost of both of those projects if you were to do the other one in the future, way down from what you looked at years ago. As far as the new building, as you noticed in the pictures, it's really, there's no professional part of that building. It's not a professional space, it's a garage, is what they have. It's not an office space, it's not a break room. The bathroom is, I mean, it's bad. It's bad enough where you could consider having problems with people about that. So what I went for in designing the actual new space is conference training room type of thing. A lot of training is done online now. They'll have space in here to do their trainings. in here, get the director's office at the DPW. So we have the director working on site with the guys. Designed it so that the windows that are here from the director's office would look at everybody coming in. The traffic flow comes in this way. And also that window is facing the entire yard. So anybody that's working out there or anybody that comes in that maybe shouldn't be there, the director will be able to see. Have another workstation area here in case the future foreman may want to spend a little bit more time at a computer. They have a workstation. This is only a half wall, so it's not like a private office or anything, but a workstation. Guys can check their emails, look for parts. They commonly look for parts for the equipment on a computer. So we have a workstation there. Break room over here. Refrigerator counter, nothing that requires fire suppression. So, microwave, they'll have a microwave, a coffee maker, something like that. Nothing crazy. An ADA non-gendered restroom. So one restroom that meets ADA requirements with a shower, toilet, sink, 3 lockers in that room, and then 1 locker room, which would be male, which would not be non-gendered, but the locker room, which would have space for 9 lockers, 2 toilets, a urinal, 2 sinks, a slop sink, and a shower. Quick look, I did start playing with furniture just to make sure that sizes all work, and it does. We can have quite a bit of conference space, actually get storage of documents, meat and filing cabinets, a couple workstations here, small ones that could be used for individual trainings that may not be on the TV. A bench in the locker room, of course, another small bench for the single use. In here, some comfy seating and a place to eat. And then, desk and chairs in there and a little bit more space. Looked at trying to go a little bit smaller. Could I cut 4 feet off of it? Maybe, but it would make it a little more crowded and would not save much money.
Good question. We're given a cost of, estimated cost of $365,000.
Yeah.
Can you break down the cost between the garage and the office?
Oh, no, the garage isn't part of it.
Strictly that.
Yeah, the garage, we estimated a while ago at being close to 700 for the garage by itself.
I think the number that Mark had projected on this would be about a $1 to $1.2 million.
Yeah, if we did all, right. And we're only looking at this right now.
Are you then going to use the existing building as the garage for now, since that's what it is?
That's the garage. It's gonna stay the garage. Just the guys will actually have a legitimate locker room instead of and bathroom instead of a toilet with all their stuff hanging at their toilet. And then they'll have a break room and a conference training area as well. They don't have any of that there right now. There is a office, I guess you could say, towards the front of the garage. One thing, I think I was talking to Mark about it, but he was saying, so what do we reuse that one office for? And there's no, what we call a parts crib in other departments. So now you can just take that off. It has a lockable door and you can turn it into a parts crib for your more expensive parts. That's really the only space that there is in there that this is making up for.
Is there a sink in the break room?
There's well, I have a slop sink in there, but you're right. I should probably
There should
get
be
the
a
plumber
sink
to
in
add a kitchen sink. Yep. Thank you.
And my suggestion would be in the men's bathroom is to do a foot pedal wash sink. I love those things.
Yeah,
My father was.
that is good. I
They
do.
use a lot less water, because
Yeah.
you don't tend to let the water run when it is.
Yeah, no, that would be a good move. And the flushing mechanisms, I always do hands-free at this point anyway. It's just not worth not being hands-free at this point. So that's what we're looking at. It's basically to get us professionals, that'll be all legal, of course. And get the entirety of the department to be in one location.
How many trucks is the old building? I mean, is it sufficient? I assume it's sufficient for what we need right now.
We are, I mean, Beth can probably answer that better, but, what I estimated when I first looked at the whole project, including doing, the garage, was that you could use 2 to 3 bays right now that you actually need, like, could really use them, plus a bay for the senior center, van. So that was, almost 4. So I figured 6 bays, that way it covers you for growth. But that maybe, am I right? Is it 2 to 3 that you could really use already?
We could definitely use 3. We try to keep everything under cover. It can't fit in the current garage. We do use the old salt shed, which is 3-sided, to park as much equipment in as possible. But typically we have all our vehicles in the garage, so they're heated, ready to go. But the backhoe and loader are outside during storms. So, with extra bays, it's better to keep them in a heated situation. That way everything's working properly when you need it. So we make things work, but it's tight.
Was a lot of vehicles that were kind of crammed into the garage area. Seemed like it was pretty tight in there.
It is,
But
but
there
the lack of professional space is the most important thing. I think that's what we're talking about today anyway, but the just zero professional space and clean and properly talking about air quality and stuff like that, but nice warm space to go into. And the garage is heated, but they heat it to about 55.
What kind
So-
of heater are you gonna put in there? Would that
Mini
be
splits.
mini splits?
Yep.
I just, I worked at Pride's Corner Farm when they put on a building for the workers. They did heated floor. And I gotta tell you, there's something nice about that when you've been cold and you walk into a room with
Yeah.
a heated floor.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna go for that expense. The mini splits are nice and it gives them air conditioning too. So I don't wanna,
Oh, that's true.
I want air conditioning and heat, so if I only wanted heat, maybe doing the heated floor, but I don't wanna double up the system. So.
I guess I would just like to say, this is a extremely hardworking crew. Any emergency in town.
Who else, Beth? Does her office come with a computer? Beth, we lost you.
And good Wi-Fi.
But yeah, I mean, I think I know where she was gonna go, but the crews and it's wherever, and it's for all the crews that'll come for the next 40 to 60 years, but, they work very long nights when it's snow or any storm type thing. It's hot and miserable in the summer and they're out there doing their job. And it'd be nice to be able to sit at lunch in a neat, an actual clean space, eat your lunch, take a break and then get back to work,
So Bev, I want to ask you, if we have blown all this, what do we have left for
Whoever put this together said there's 214,000. Because I didn't do.
ARPA? I have a copy of it. do
Yeah, you do. It's.
So-
Roughly 2014.
Yeah. Your thoughts on the projects? I mean, doesn't say we have to do all of them, any of them. We can't leave 1, 2 out. I think the sidewalk, in my opinion, is a given. Somebody trips over there, we're in trouble. Okay, the tennis court rebuild. New pickleball court, I'm not taking them on. Those people are ferocious, so.
Right, but if we didn't do that, they still would get 2 more courts just by the
The
tennis
tennis.
expansion, right?
Yeah,
So it's either you'd be expanding by 3 courts or 2 courts, depending on what we approve, if we approve any of them.
right, yeah, yes. And then the DPW project.
Are there other projects that we anticipate looking at in near term?
Yeah, the lake and the drainage and stuff, so we're gonna get more information. I sat down with Mary. She is getting a very specific where the nitrates come from report in December, which will help us to see what we can, need, may do in the future for drainage for the lake. So that's a good thing. They've asked for ARPA money for that. There's been asked for ARPA money for some land, open space, or some projects. They've asked for that. So, and a couple other things also, yeah.
Does the estimate here for the tennis court rebuild and the new pickleball court, are the prices based upon them being done together at the same time? Or if they were done independently, would the price be the same? Would it be different? Would it be higher?
I put those out separately
Okay,
as separate bids for the reason of having them.
but if they were done together,
It's the same vendors.
could there be some economies if we end up doing both?
Would he come down a little bit? Possibly. I'd have to ask him, but it's not gonna be a lot. All of these projects, other than possibly the sidewalk, but the tennis court and the pickleball court have a few thousand in there already higher. So if we come in when the project's done, if we don't hit any unexpected things, you may have $3,000 or $4,000 balance in that. The fire station re-roof, there's about 5,000 in there in case the plywood's bad. But if the plywood, if we don't have as many bad pieces of plywood, you'll have 5,000 back in that. So there's little pieces that, we can hope will come back and be lower. And I would ask if you chose to do tennis and pickleball, I'll ask the vendor to see if he can come down a little.
Yeah, there's no question that folks over at the DPW work very hard and they serve us well. There's no question that the facilities right now are horrible. But I am not totally comfortable embracing a price tag of $365,000 at this point in time. I'd like to explore it more before we make that commitment, and I would ask that. I'm not ready to personally to vote.
Does that include like a new septic or anything like that? I would
Yes.
assume a new
Yep.
septic.
New septic. Yep, not a new well. I'm gonna take the water off the other building, but new septic.
What kind of buildings? I know I saw pictures of.
Basically a ranch.
There's
We're gonna
not.
do metals, we're gonna do metal siding, metal roofing. It's gonna be very similar, as far as the siding and roofing to the garage we built up at Rec Park. It's basically gonna be a ranch with all those particular items in it.
Is this a prefab or is it?
No.
No?
The prefabs would be, from the time you decided to do it to the time you could get them, would be somewhere between 6 months and a year. And they would cost little to no, there would be little to no savings in using a prefab.
Bill, what do you think? Maybe we could do it a little differently, but I think they need something, that's, I think.
Oh, there's no
that's-
question about they need something,
Yeah.
but I'm troubled by the price
I
tag.
know, it's high.
What do you think with inflation and everything, the price of materials, I think,
The
at least in the
prices-
near term, are gonna continue to go up.
Prices of materials have doubled in the past year.
Yeah.
The 2,000 square foot houses that are going up around town, they're coming in for their permits and writing 550 down for the cost of construction. And this is 1,500, and we're not gonna
It's
get it
crazy.
that much. It may be less than 360 when it's all said and done, once we get all the pieces and parts done, but it's not gonna be much.
Is there a way we can maybe scale back? I mean, I assume this estimate includes some of the furnishings and tables and all that for some of that stuff that maybe, I'm not sure how much I can shave, but I mean, we can maybe not outfit it completely to start and to at least get it going, because I agree, I mean, we definitely need to put something in place.
Well, you're doing a building committee for the school, so maybe you need a committee to address this as well, rather than just to sign off. Good point, to be blunt.
That's a point.
That's a.
I can support the first 6 projects right now, but, you know, and I apologize, but I'm not ready to embrace the $365,000 price tag at this point.
So maybe it's just more information, building committee or more information on exactly the different costs that we would occur.
I mean, I see the layout as being prudent, as far as the size and stuff, whether or not, I just know that, you know, we build things and our prices have just,
I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here listening to everybody and I too know they need something.
Yeah,
They need something. And I know that this is higher than I would have imagined also. But I also know that stuff is going through the roof.
that's true.
I don't think downsizing by 4 feet anywhere would help. I don't even think it would save in costs by much. I don't think,
It was my.
I don't think when we furnish this, you know, these are some big guys and some rough guys and, you know, when they sit down after a tough morning or something, want to take a break, they're not that gentle flopping into the chair, so I don't think Bob's Furniture is going to do it. I know that's not what you said. I'm just throwing my thoughts out there. So we can wait. We can wait and take a look at it and see after there's going to be some things that go on in the next few months. Are we going to get into a recession, or are we going to put an end or stifle the economic, you know, the way things are going, or I don't think we're gonna
Well,
see
were you
much
thinking-
change, to be
when
honest
were we
with you.
thinking of doing that?
Uh,
What's the timetable on it?
Well, if you had approved it tonight, I was going to call the concrete guy tomorrow and.
Get that going.
You get going.
Concrete has to be done before when, the frost or the freeze or what?
It's preferable to do it before it gets really bad. I mean, we can't dig once it really hard freezes. But generally, it's better to do it earlier.
I make a motion, we approve the senior center sidewalk using ARPA money for $6,500. All those in favor? Aye. I make a motion, we rebuild and fence and any associated work for the tennis court using ARPA money for $93,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I make a motion. Well, I'm gonna amend, I'm going to delete that. New pickleball court and fencing. If we have the 2 in the tennis court, we want the other one for 53. Any discussion on that?
So you're saying, so,
We have one, we're putting 2 sideways in the tennis court. He brought it up.
so you could
Chris
use
did.
one of the tennis courts as a pickleball?
No, the tennis court, there's only one tennis court,
1,
but
2,
if you could,
3.
it's half court, so you would play sideways on the courts, and you'd have 2 courts, pickleball courts on the tennis court. If you had 3 teams playing pickleball, you ain't gonna have any tennis available.
Mhm.
All right, I make a motion, we approve the new pickleball court, including fencing and any associated work for $53,000. Any more discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye.
I move that we table the construction of the DPW office building and construction engineering project. Time being.
And we get more, we could think, get more information.
It's precisely what I mean.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Aye. Aye.
I think it's clear you need something.
I didn't look up. I said aye. Who said raised hands? 1, 2, 3, 4.
But just maybe it's more information on the different costs of things.
I don't think costs are getting any different, to be honest with you.
I think it is what it is.
Oh, if you wanted the detailed cost estimate, I could actually go downstairs and get you that right now. The dollar amount came out by putting detailed numbers to the different items,
All right,
but yeah.
Jason, we'll talk. All right, no new business. Lake Dam Beach, I'll wait till town administrator, report. No appointments, resignations, town administrator report. You ready, Mark? You got anything?
Yes. So hold on. So right now, we've got two letters, one from Gene Bender and one from Bob Wojcik, who live in Wickford Village area. And they've asked that we look and request that the DOT do another analysis of the passing and no passing areas along 66. You actually have 3 different zones there, and we believe that those zones were created before Wickford Road was put in, creating a tough area to depart from Wickford onto 66. So that's gone to DOT. You can see the letter that we sent to them, and we're asking them for a study, just like we did in front of the main moose. So I'll wait for a response on that. And then we also went out to bid for the Hop River Bridge with Coventry. And the low bid was Rotha Contracting Company out of Avon, Connecticut for $3,656,000. And that actually we've put aside almost enough to do that bridge. We're 2,300 short based on this new estimate. So we'll modify that in the next budget season, put a little more money into that budget, but we're doing good on the Hop River Bridge. They just have to get it through the permitting and deep, so we can actually start construction. And also a reminder, the Veterans Day celebration will be Friday, November 11th, 11 o'clock at Yeoman's Hall or out at our monument area, to be followed by reception and lunch at the senior center. And that's all I have, Stephen.
Oh, Mark, I'm gonna take this and just say that Mary Road come to saw me. I told you we should in December be able to get more of a pinpoint on where the nitrates that are rolling into, so that'll be good.
Right.
I just wanted to state that again, because the lake is a big part of the town, so.
Yeah, that'll be on our LMAC discussion tomorrow night.
They
We'll be
also check for phosphates or just
Yeah,
nitrogen?
everything.
Okay.
Yes, it's mainly phosphates. It's a concern, and that'll be part of the analysis.
I meant phosphate, I'm sorry.
No, it's just
Yeah.
nitrates are also an issue.
Yep, all right, some correspondence here, some nice write-ups and stuff. Connecticut State Troop K monthly services are on there, so moving to the budget. Don't have any transfers, excellent. Refunds. Make a motion, we pay refunds in the amount of $743.30 to those listed above. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. And also, I move to approve the payment of bills totaling $80,985.53, consisting of 21-22 emergency, 21-22 regular, 22-23 emergency, 22-23 regular, credit card and paychecks. We have 21-22 regular, that's been over. Yeah.
So apparently it's the state. They did some inspections on all the boilers back in June and waited till October to send the bill. So
Did
since the
inspection
bill-
on what boilers? Our boilers?
Yeah.
The state did?
They do it, I don't know if it's annual or biannually, and so they didn't send the bills till October, and since the books were open, I said, well, let me put in last year because there was money in those lines instead of.
So is that,
I did call them.
is that mandated? We have to let them do that?
I think it's a requirement, yeah. Yep. It's a public building, I believe. I think Jason would be able to talk about it still here, but yeah, so I called them to make sure that their inspection dates were accurate, because the bill 4 months later was a little surprising, and
How much is that bill?
so there were 2 of them. It came to $640. One I got right away, said, let's pay it, it's last year, and then another bill showed up just a
Yeah,
year,
$480.
and then another 160, so it's for all the town buildings. So I said, well, we can, I still have time to put it last year, so I'll put it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cooler replacement, Mountain Spring diesel. What piece of equipment, Beth is going, what piece of equipment was that? You know what piece of equipment that was, Mark?
And what was it called?
EGR cooler replacement for the Mountain Spring diesel tractor or something?
Mountain Spring.
It's one of the truck, yeah, public works vehicles, I believe. That's just a deposit, so I think I saw the bill include. I think there's still a couple more thousand due on it. I don't know which vehicle it is, but.
Good. All right, there's motion on the floor. Any discussion on the bills? All those in favor?
Aye.
What's that?
I had a curiosity question, so it was for the ballots, it was $2,000 and absentee ballots, excuse me, was 600. I was curious how much absentee ballots cost per ballot compared to a regular ballot, just a thought.
We can get you that information, and yeah, I believe some of these are being, these bills are being reimbursed by the state, just given the,
We have the,
yeah. I guess I'll, but yeah, you want to know the cost per absentee, or, okay, I'll find that out, thank you.
audience of citizens. Questions for us?
No, nothing in chat.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. How's it going down there? Good? You having a good time?
Yes,
Excellent.
there's a lot of security for the governor debate. I was surprised. I guess the last debate, they weren't governors, so once you're a sitting governor, you get a lot of security.
Where are you?
At the CCM convention, so Ned and Bob are debating right now.
Real, never mind.
That was-
Okay. I can hear the excitement in the background.
I'm hiding from all that excitement.
Board member comments.
I'd like an executive session.
Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought.
He made his comment.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted just to give kudos to Mark, Bev, Jen, Deb, all those who put on the rec park celebration. It was a nice event.
Yeah,
It
it was
was a
very
pretty
nice.
good turnout. It was nice to see bright people come and celebrate. So,
Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, good. Okay, so at this time, we're going to pause the special meeting for the Board of Selectmen and move into an executive session. So I don't know, because I don't know what the topic is, I don't know if I should ask anybody to stay.
It's real estate.
Real estate, okay. So, thank you very much. And I don't-
And you're gonna be my So
I'll
you-
pause it at 7:59.
Okay, can you cut the recording? What? And resume the special meeting. So we resume the special meeting at 8:13 and make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Thank you.
Okay, good night all.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, Mark.